I love the idea of making beetroot cakes, and I love the idea of making muddy kind of chocolatey glory cakes that you can amp up the veggies in it, and that then extends to the whole family, which is awesome. The first thing I want to start with is melting our chocolate, just to get that out of the way. Now, we spoke about this in the caramel slice recipe, where I've got the water on the boil, okay? It's actually bubbling away, as you can see, just here, it's all happening, and I'm gonna turn it off, this water. And it's got a glass bowl, which is heat proof, obviously, on here. Now, I'm gonna sit this just to the side. I do not want to boil my cacao. It's very important that you remember that. I'm gonna take my cacao butter, some stuff I had left over before, which is awesome. I'm gonna shave this, and this is what's gonna make it melt faster, which is kind of cool, actually. So you're just gonna grab a knife, and once again, just shave this butter. It's quite amazing how it does this. Okay, when you've got, let me just put that to the side. When you've got a big bit like this, just run your knife through. Now watch your fingers, because this is quite slippery, so just be really mindful. If you don't want to touch it, just hold your hand on the knife like that. Now this is going to go straight into here. Just beautiful. It's melting straight away in here. Okay. Off the board. Now we're going to set that aside, and we're going to get straight on to our base. Okay, are you ready? This is awesome. So you're going to need the S blend of your food processor, but you're also going to need the grating blend of your food processor as well. And most food processors, well, all food processors that I know, come with one of these. So I want it to be quite a fine blend. You can have it chunky, so this one's quite chunky, or quite fine. I want it quite fine for this cake. So I'm just going to add this, make sure I get it the right way. Once I was making chips and I had it on the grating blend and turned that into hash browns instead, which was kind of awesome. So make sure that's the right way. You're also going to need this part of your food processor, so make sure that all comes with it. If you get one from the op shop, remember that you've got to have this part in it, because you don't want to be pushing down with utensils or anything. I'm going to add to this cake a carrot. Good sized carrot actually, and a medium sized beetroot. Actually, it's quite a large sized beetroot. I'm just going to cut the outside kind of bits that don't look that great off, and the same with this lovely carrot as well. Now, and I'm not going to peel this. It's one of the things my mum taught me about vegetables, and that is the actual beautiful nutrients that are in the soil that actually get to these really amazing vegetables. So I'm going to just wash them really well. Have a look down here, Gungun. See that? It's melting beautifully. Really beautifully, and give that a bit of a stir. Look at that. Awesome. Okay. Cut the beetroot to size so it fits in your food processor. That's cool. Straight on, straight in. Now, when you get left with chunks like this, there's two things you can do with that. Put it in the compost bin or eat it, up to you. But we don't want them in there because they're too chunky. Oh, hi! Don't forget the grating part of the Gungun's laughing. Carrot. Now just open that up and check for those big chunks like this. Awesome. Okay, and this is when you're going to swap over blades, and you're going to put the S blade in, and that's all gorgeous. Look at those colours, and it's one way to get veggies into your kids if you're having problems with that. This is a really great way to get that happening. Okay, I'm going to add some nuts to this. I love almonds. I think they're a neutral flavour. You could add cashews, you could have walnuts, you could have Brazil nuts. You could actually mix the nuts together if you wanted to. So don't run out to the store trying to find the same nuts with this recipe. This recipe is very versatile. And also if you wanted to add more veggies in there, a zucchini would be great as well. And you could really call that a V8 chocolate cake if you like. But this one we're going to call a root mud cake, which is awesome. Okay, so some beautiful almonds in here. Yum, yum, yum. Now follow the recipe. Obviously I'm winging it. You need some coconut. Desiccated coconut or shredded coconut. How quick is this? Awesome. Some dates. Where are we? these are great. These are dried dates, and I've mentioned this a couple of times in the program, which is awesome. So I've already pitted these, which takes a lot of time actually out of your day.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? For the guy in the back that pitted them. I've got some currants. Now you can use raisins if you like, or prunes, but I love the idea of currants. I find them quite sweet and delicious and really mix well with chocolate. Okay, some cacao powder. Oh yeah, this is this jar that doesn't want to open. Here we go. Look at this stuff. Gungun's like, aren't you Gungun? Alright, I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup in here just to bring it home. This little bit of sweetness just adds to this. Okay, you don't have to if you don't want to, it's totally fine, but I'd like to add a little bit in there. And the last thing I'm going to add to this is some psyllium. And what psyllium's going to do, it's going to suck in any moisture out of those carrots and that beetroot, and it's going to set the base of this cake, which is awesome. I remember when I first created this cake, it was years and years ago in my restaurant, and I remember having a lot of it because I'd make a big tray of it. And one day I thought to myself, I need to see if this freezes, and it did. It froze so well. So this is something you can make into a big slab. You don't necessarily have to make a round cake from a round cake tin. You can make a slab and chop it up into pieces and freeze it. It freezes so well, which is awesome. So I'm going to blend this. I want it to be quite mushy, okay? So what I mean is the same as that other bases what we made in this in the raw section of this series, is I want it to be quite sticky. So we need to get to that point, and the psyllium will suck up that moisture. So let's have a blend. Okay, let's have a look where we're at here. This is good. Ah, the coconut and the chocolate are just coming through, and you can smell the beetroot as well, which is awesome. So you just want to taste this and see where you're at. Oh, it's lovely. It's perfect. It's such a good recipe. Now this is actually quite moist, and like I said, that psyllium will just suck up that moisture overnight. This is so cool. So that's what we're after, that kind of, and those nuts, you can see the texture of the nuts, which is quite good. We'll give it another little bit of a blend, and then we'll set it into a cake tin. Okay, beautiful. We are done. So I'm going to just line a standard springform cake tin with some unbleached baking paper, which is kind of cool. Now, springform, this is what I mean, one of these here. So they're easy to get out. Okay, so when you're making a cake, this is really, really simple. And I don't need a lot of lining. I don't need to go up the sides or anything. I just want to get a bit of old reusable baking paper that I've used making a cake before, and I've just kept it. And I'm just going to sit that in there like that. Alrighty. Are we ready? Are we ready? How simple is that? How easy is that? And you're most welcome to call this a velvet chocolate cake if you want, because of a red velvet chocolate cake, because of the red beetroot. This tastes so good. And that maple syrup coming through just adds a little bit more flavour to it. Okay, so once again, what you want to do is you want to spread the actual cake out with your fingers before you go pushing down. Really important tip, yeah? A lot of people just push straight away. No, don't do that. Get it all spread evenly like this. And once again, using the pads of your fingers, just push down. How easy is that? Pressing quite firmly, as you can see. Making sure it's really even. Now, as you can see, both my hands have got cake on them. And what a gift that is. One hand is on the tin, one hand is in the cake, and I'm just turning, okay? Don't forget to breathe. It's really important to breathe. Now I'm just pushing the sides down. There we go, we're done. How easy is that? Okay. Straight in the fridge, and we'll get straight onto our chocolate. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. the coconut. Can you smell that? Imagine if this was smell-o-vision. Straight in the fridge. I love the idea of a milky icing, like a milk chocolate icing. I love that, and I love that I get to share this with you. So the first thing we do is, remember our cacao butter that we melted? Of course you remember it, because yours is melting too, right? I'm going to put it straight into here. It's cooled down, and even if it was a little bit warm, it's totally fine into here. Now I don't mind that there's some water dripping off here, because we're actually going to add water to this icing, which is cool. So there's our cacao butter. Oh yes, it's glorious. Now we're going to add some cashew nuts. This is an epic icing. I love this. We're going to add some beautiful cacao powder. Oh, this is this is the one that does it all. Okay. This stuff smells so good. And now we're going to add some sweetener to this, and I want some maple syrup because I love it. You can add honey, you could add dates, you could add some stevia if you wanted to, anything like that. I'm a big fan of this stuff. It just makes it really sweet and lovely. Yeah. I want a pinch of salt because salt's just going to bring out the flavour of this. And I'm going to add some water. And this will just make it very milky. So, which is really interesting because we're adding fat to water. So we've got two types of fat here. We've got the cashew fat and you've got the cacao fat. And what's going to happen is it's going to split. And I'm going to show you that actually. It's best that you get this and you understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to mix this as it is, so in my blender. Now what's happening here, it's quite thick and chunky, but it is starting to actually, as I blend this, and the more I blend this, what's going to happen is the two fats are going to split, and what's going to turn this into a creamy milk chocolate will be the water. So see the colour of this? This is like a delicious chocolate mud glory. When I add the water to this, just watch what happens. So if you've got a blender like this is a really great blender. It's really reasonably priced. They're an RPM professional. They're a great price. They're on the website. Have a look if you wanted to update your blender, you know. This is a really awesome blender, and they have a little hole in the top. Most blenders do, which is kind of cool. So you just put this on slow, and you're going to add your water. I'm going to turn this off for a minute so you can have a look at the difference in colour already and see how that's going into a lovely, beautiful, light mud, white, not white, creamy milk chocolate. Actually, white would be good. The taste is delicious. You want to use your blender tool if you have one, just to scrape down the edges. And I'm just going to monitor this because I want it silky, silky, silky smooth. And what I'm after is I don't want that feeling of sandiness in the texture of this icing. I want it to be milk chocolate, silky smooth icing. Opportunity for me to lick my fingers. Let's have a look. Let's have a look to see where we're at. Now we're getting that really lovely texture. Look at the peak on that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's beautiful. Now I've tasted this. I want a little bit more maple to this, which is cool. When you taste things from the beginning, middle and the end, then you can adjust it. My partner loves sweet things. Gungun behind the camera loves sweet things. Michael behind the other camera, over here, show him Gungun. Michael doesn't really like sweet things. So it's really a great place to start when you're making desserts and you're not used to making desserts, is really taste from the beginning, middle and the end, and then you can really structure that to your family's requirements. But follow the base recipe that I've got and then, yeah, change it as you go. So I'm going to keep blending. I want this silky smooth, remember? I don't want that fine sand texture between my fingers. Okay, we are there. Do I have chocolate on my face? Yes. Okay, over to the fridge. Let's get this glory out. This is really, look, check this out. This is really super set already, which is awesome. As you can see, look, that psyllium has just sucked up that moisture, which is really cool. I love that, how that's ready to go. I want the icing to set just as hard, okay? I could serve it as it is and put it into a bowl and have like a a lava mud kind of cake with that icing running through it, but I want it to be quite hard. So it's going to go back into the fridge or the freezer. Okay, I'm smiling because this cake is just yummy. All right, get that paper out of the way. Check this out. This is the stuff. This is the stuff that gets everybody thinking, why would you use white icing sugar? And why would you use like a shitty, you know, cocoa powder when you can have the, if not better, flavour and texture with whole real food? Now once again, I'm going to leave the jug for Ruben. Have a look at this. Can you get this? Can you see that, Ruben, through there? That's awesome. Cool. This is just beautiful. This is just stunning. Yeah. This is for you, Ruben. And what I love to do is have a look around in my pantry, and this is what happens when you have a whole food pantry. You get to play, you get to experiment. So I'm just going to look around to see what's here. I've got some dried fruit, I've got some crackers, I've got some dried strawberry, I've got chocolate on my finger. I've got some seeds, I've got some oats, I've got some nuts, I've got some cacao nibs, which would be actually really cool to put around the edge of this. So just have a really close-up look at what I'm doing here. Cacao nibs are stunning. They just add a little bit of texture and decadence to a cake, which is awesome. So I'm just going to run this just freehand. Remember, we're at home, but this is very impressive when you have guests over, or you've got a date and you want to introduce them into your whole foods lifestyle. And if you have a date coming over for dinner and then you serve them this for dessert, you will be making breakfast the next day. Trust me. It's true, right? There we go. Love it. Something a little bit different. Don't want to see any nibs in there. I'm getting a little bit particular here. Okay. That's just going to take the air bubbles out of the icing when you do this. Ta-da! I'm going to put that in the freezer. I'm going to set it. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to eat it. Our cake has been sitting in the freezer for a good 10 to 12 minutes. It is ready. Made, would you please bring me that gorgeous situation of glory? Since I don't have a freezer behind me. Have a look at this. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. This is a really great moment for you at home that love that kind of mud cakey texture and flavour and richness and thickness and, you know, laviness of chocolate that comes through mud cakes. This is just one of those cakes that just rock out. Now remember, this is a vegetable root cake, okay? So it's packed full of vegetables, which is awesome. And it's set beautifully. As you can see, the icing has really set lovely on that, which is so great. And these springform cake tins are great. They just come out straight away, so there's no hassle or stress, and you can get them anywhere, basically in any supermarket or, you know, homeware store. Check this out. Just want to take that paper off, which is not happening. Ah. Okay, there we go. I don't even want to cut this, actually. I love, as you can see, this little bit of cacao nibs that you can put on top. You can put anything you like on there. If you've got some hemp seeds, or if you've got some beautiful dried coconut, or if you've got some sultanas, it could be anything. And this is a great place to bring the kids in the kitchen to decorate this. And remember, when we make things like this, it's so important that you remember this is going to serve you from the inside out. So it's a true beauty from the inside out. It's bioavailable to the human body. It is hitting that satiating spot when you crave something that doesn't really serve us and you have that guilt afterwards. This is God in a cake. I love the fact that I get to show you this, and I love the fact that you guys are going to get to make this. I really don't want to cut it, but I'm going to. It's just this gooey, yummy texture. Look at it. It's just beautiful. beautiful. Now when you cut cakes, it's really great to have something like this on standby, just by wiping that, so you don't run that icing through. So a really good tip there for you at home. Look at that, that's it. There are so many people in the background that want to eat this, clearly. Yeah. They're not, come here. They're not, you know, they're not stars like this one. Here we go. Let me give you a plate. Great party cake, great cake, freezers, it's total freezer friendly. It's just gorgeous. It's amazing. It has that lovely amount of root vegetables in there. I love the fact that my friends are here. I love the fact that we get to have something that's going to shine from the inside out. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this cake. If you want to amp up the plant even more, add some zucchini in there and that'll just bring it home. The original root beetroot mud cake right here. Huh? What? What's wrong? You want some?
Oh yeah.
This is really good. You're gonna love this. Freezer friendly, packed full of plants. Rich flavour. I can taste the carrot just because the chocolate's coming in there. I can taste the beetroot just because the chocolate's coming in there. So don't be afraid to add as many vegetables as you like in this cake. You can even go as far as adding some turmeric and some ginger just to bring it home, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy.
Oh, man. Action.
I have no words. Actually, I can talk to you. Stop. Action. Oh, plugging it in would be good. My first food presser.